We really needed a whole new kitchen after we bought this house. The kitchen was very plain, very dated, and really wasn't laid out user friendly. So we have a very large family and had a practical need, an urgent need for a better kitchen that would meet our needs. My husband and I have 12 children that are all adopted and varying ages from 2 to 21, and there is never a dull moment in our house. Everybody's running and going and doing. The majority of our children, 9 of them in fact, are boys. So having a kitchen that everybody can be in and can be a family-centered place, but also that's functional, that we can cook in and cook large meals when that's necessary, and that people can be doing dishes and cooking at the same time. Or my husband cooks, I don't cook at all. My husband is able to make large meals, especially for holidays, that kind of thing, or if we have other people over, was a huge need. Storage was a huge need because of the amount of food that we have and the amount of dishes and that kind of thing for such a large family. So when we bought this house, the thing I hated about it the most was the kitchen. It was very small for the size house and for the need that we had. The kitchen was very small and laid out very poorly. So one of the big needs that we had was to get creative on how the layout of the kitchen was going to be, so that it was more user friendly and getting the best out of the small space that our kitchen had. And so Better Kitchens and Baths did a great job of coming in and doing that and helping us lay it out and getting creative on where we moved certain things so that they were more user-friendly and more functional. We did a lot of looking around when we decided to remodel the kitchen on who to hire and who was going to come in and do the job and do it well, time efficient, and help guide us through the process, because we really didn't know what we were doing. We knew we needed a new kitchen, but we didn't know the first thing about what that looked like. Watched HGTV and knew it could be done in 3 days, and I'm kidding, I'm totally joking. But we didn't know what that process even looked like and where we should even start. So we had Tracy and Bill come out and give us an estimate, but they came out and did way more than just give us an estimate. They looked at what we had, sat down and chatted with us about what our need was. Why did we want to redo the kitchen? Yes, the aesthetic piece, but then also the practical need piece and how to meet our needs. And then they kind of went to work, and Tracy started sketching some things up and moving things around on his computer program to figure out how to lay out our space the best way. And so they built half of a wall in between our living room and kitchen, but still left it open. So we still had that open concept, but so that we could move the fridge over and then move our ovens over, so that we would have the double ovens to help with a big family. Getting creative with a larger stovetop to meet that need, with where the kitchen island is, putting storage and drawers underneath of that to give us a lot more storage space. So we got a few different estimates, and I will say Better Bathrooms and Kitchens was not the cheapest, but that's okay, because you get what you pay for. And at the end of the day, the reason that we chose this company and their quote or estimate over some of the other contractors that had come in was that care and time that they spent to guide us through the whole entire process, to hold our hand through it, help us to pick out the right cabinets and the right countertops and little things like what knobs were going to go on the drawers, stuff that I never thought about when we first started this process. And taking that extra time and care to walk us through the process and making it so friendly. When your house is under construction, it just sucks. It does. Nobody likes their house being under construction, but they made that process so smooth and easy for that time that we had people in and out of our house. They were so professional when they were here working. They took so many steps to make sure that they didn't damage our appliances or our floor, and keeping it safe for my children in taping off, the areas they were working in and cleaning up every day. They just did such a phenomenal job. So we ended up going with them initially from hearing from some of their other customers, looking through their portfolios, and then just that extra time that they took with us in the beginning, that we said, all right, this is the company. He came in to do the start with the demolition first, I guess, and pulling out all the old cabinets. And I thought, this guy's going to do this by himself. I was kind of surprised. Donnell worked so quickly. I have never seen somebody with so much talent as Donnell when it comes to those finishing touches, those little things at the end, his attention to detail, his professional approach while he was in our home is so professional. He is definitely what you consider the jack of all trades. He redid little things like when he tore out some benching that we had in that was attached to the wall. The drywall needed to be repaired, and then we had to match the texture on the walls, and he came in and matched the texture, and that wasn't something that was even quoted initially, because we didn't think about that. We didn't realize that we were going to have to retexture parts of the wall, and he came in and just did it and matched it beautifully, and that takes some talent, I think. He just was very efficient, very quick, was communicated wonderfully. He had a question, he would stop and he would talk to me or talk to my husband, asked us at the beginning of every week, or even sometimes multiple times a week, where we wanted certain things, how we wanted certain things, if he wasn't 100% clear. He just was overall a joy to have in our home, and we would highly recommend. I will say it is awful hard to have your kitchen under construction when you have 12 children. The kitchen is one of the most used rooms in a home, and I think that's why it's worth having it done right if you're going to redo your kitchen. That being said, when that process is going on, you're excited for that final product and for it to finally be done, so you know it's worth it, but it's a little difficult during the process. Better Bathrooms and Kitchens did a phenomenal job of telling us exactly what was going to be done in what stages and how long the job was going to take. Little bitty things that you kind of take for granted every day that they did for us, like make sure our refrigerator was still plugged in and accessible, knowing that we had 12 kids and we're going to need to have access to it. When they were putting in the cabinets, they went ahead and put our ovens back in quickly so we would still have them. You know, we didn't have a sink and we didn't have a stove until the very end, but that was okay because they made a point to let us have the ovens back, and then to tell us this is about how long it's going to take, and to walk us through the process of, you know, the counter guy will be here this day, the, you know, granite guy will be here this day, and it really was a smooth process from beginning to end of having contractors in your home. Was probably the best experiences we've had of having people in and working in our home. It is definitely worth having the guys at Better Bathrooms Kitchen come out and look at your project and walk you through the steps. Having no idea what it was going to take to remodel my kitchen, having people who are knowledgeable and in the industry and understood what it would take to redo our kitchen, and to walk us through those little things that you don't think about when it comes to how to lay it out correctly, how to get the best bang for your buck, so to speak, and then also those little aesthetics that you just don't, the knobs on your cabinets. I know I said that before, but I did not think about that, of how to choose that. And then when you're looking at all these options, you're like, well, I don't know what to choose. And so they helped us through that process of what would look right with the tile that we chose, and would look right with the countertop that we chose. And it just was overall such a pleasant experience. And the final product is absolutely gorgeous, so that part was definitely worth it. But the process in between, I think, is what really sold us on this company and who we'll use in the future for anything.